School Days, Episode 1 of Season 8 of MLP. After much thought, I decided to kick off my reviews with the current season, as previous seasons have tons of reviews, and I'm not sure how interested people would be in rehashing them this late in the game. That said, if someone does have a specific episode they would like me to review, or if people are interested enough, I'm not opposed to going back and doing so. Anyway, we begin this episode after the MLP movie, and the main 8 are marveling over how the friendship map has expanded after their movie adventure.
Those are all the places we went when we left to save Equestria.
Ugh! There's that horrid town where we were almost sold!
The pirates! They were pretty awesome!
Wait, didn't Tempest blow up that ship? Even if it was rebuilt, is the map now showing a mobile location? So, does it move about as a ship does? Is it a representation? And if they are called to it, do they have to track down the ship from scratch every time?
What about that unicorn, the one who attacked Canterlot? Tempest. I invited her to come to Ponyville, but she wanted to spread the word of the Storm King's defeat and share what she learned about friendship.
Well, that's a shame. But I guess Tempest does kind of push into Starlight's territory a bit too much. Let's be honest. Another powerful unicorn, one specializing in blowing things up, would add even more to the otherwise overpowered good guys. Between Starlight, Glimmer, 5 Alicorns, the Elements of Harmony, Discord, Starsweld, and the Pillars, there really isn't an excuse to not instantly overcoming any threat to Equestria anymore. Which raises the question of what Discord, Starlight, and the Pillars were doing during the invasion. I suppose we can excuse the Pillars as exploring the new times, and Discord may not have been looking at the time, given he is a spirit of chaos, but Starlight was present and is just as powerful as Twilight, so what's her excuse? Anyway, I digress. Everyone comments on the meaning of the expansion of the map, and Twilight notes that there are so many creatures they met who don't know anything about friendship. So, what is the next step in spreading friendship?
We're gonna open a school!
Well, that sounds like a great... Oh. Okay, so yeah, the idea of friendship being taught in a school does clash with the original statements that it's not something that can be learned in a book, but honestly, a lot has changed since Season 1. The magic of friendship is much more defined at this point. The main 6 have explored and experienced their personal elements to much more depth, and they've also learned that you can't just send out a book detailing their experiences for this. They tried that with the Friendship Journal, and that kind of backfired. So this does seem like the next logical experiment, short of going out into the world and trying to teach each place one at a time. And of course, from what we see later, this isn't just a school about how to be a friend, rather it's like a tech school or a law school. It specializes in a particular area, in this case friendship, but it also has further education on the side. Fluttershy teaches about different creatures, Twilight is teaching about history, etc., etc. So it actually offers a wide range of educational opportunities while teaching the core mechanics of the Elements of Harmony. So Twilight Sparkle goes to Princess Celestia for questions on how to run a school, and naturally goes into question overload mode. But Celestia assures her that she is qualified, and I would have to agree. Organization has always been Twilight's strong suit, but then Celestia mentions the EEA.
Not even a princess can do whatever she likes when it comes to shaping young pony minds. The EEA ensures that whether it's unicorns studying magic, Pegasi learning weather, or Earth ponies researching agriculture, all schools are held to the same high standard.
Really? Every school? Even Ponyville Schoolhouse? Somehow I can't imagine Cheerilee going in front of this Shadow Inquisition chamber of scowling dark-robed Snape personalities and still wanting to pursue teaching. Which brings us to Chancellor obviously going to be a thorn in everyone's side. Seriously, I have to wonder about the conversation ponies have when they're naming their kids. Cadence, we really should come up with a name for our foal before it's born. Well, I have been thinking about that too, and I really like the name Windflurry. Well, I was thinking something like Heartbreaking Beauty. Well, let's look at them both and see what they look like written down. You know what? Seeing this, it's kind of obvious what the name should be. I agree. It's completely obvious our names are a bit silly, but this one is perfect. I couldn't agree more. Break-in wind it is. So Chancellor Daze is immediately disrespectful to Twilight, cutting her off before she even have a chance to introduce herself. And he's basically telling her, thanks for saving our lives, but now you play by our rules if you want to open your school. Seriously, how the heck is this bunch able to be blatantly disrespectful to royalty? Is this the same attitude they gave Celestia? Princess Celestia, Equestria owes you a great debt for 1,000 moons of raising celestial bodies. But if you expect to run a school, we expect you to adhere to strict EEA rules. Can we trust your raising of the sun and moon won't interfere with this plan of yours? Okay, we get it. You set the standards for schools. That doesn't make you the king of Equestria. I'm pretty sure Celestia has the power to have you replaced with someone who isn't a self-important jerk. My impression of this exchange is that he's barely listening to Twilight at all. She's talking about spreading friendship, and he's acting like she's talking about military school. Did he even read the book that he flipped through? What part of friendship school didn't register with him to where he is saying,
a school for ponies to learn how to protect themselves.
More like respecting differences and communicating.
right there, Chancellor, she is correcting you. This is not a place to fight and learn how to defend yourself from enemies. It's a school for friendship. But regardless, Twilight does get temporary approval, and he is going to show up on Friends and Family Day to see how the school is getting along. Foreshadowing.
It's too much. Too much! You think so? I had hoped dressing the part would help me feel the part. They're gonna think I'm an egghead.
Well, the students are gonna love my confetti cannon class.
I do kind of wonder about Twilight hiring her friends as teachers. I can see why she does it, but all of her friends do have other jobs and responsibilities. Rarity has 3 stores now to manage in different cities. Rainbow Dash has the Wonderbolts, and Applejack has Sweet Apple Acres. Fluttershy is running a newly opened Sweet Feather Sanctuary, so the only pony who might have the time is Pinkie Pie, though even that's in question due to the sheer number of parties she throws, if her files in her Pinkie Cave are any indication. But then again, Pinkie breaks the laws of physics on a regular basis, so that point might be moot. But still, it seems a lot to add to everyone's workload. But Twilight and Starlight reassure them everything will be fine as long as they stick to the EEA guidelines. And so they're all on board, and that is when we are introduced to the new students, which includes some new faces we'll be seeing a lot of. Sambar the Earth Pony, Gallus the Griffin, Una the Yak, Smolder the Dragon, Ocellus the Changeling, and Silverstream the Hippogriff. With the exception of Sambar, these are races that we've seen from all corners of the world. Strange, we don't see any buffalo. I know they haven't been touched on since Season 1, but you'd think reaching out over Equestria and beyond would probably include them. But anyway, we only see one student from each race attending, so this gives me the impression this is an exchange program sort of situation. Though the way that they're sponsored makes it seem it's more of an emissary thing. This may be me thinking out loud, but it seems like each member after graduating would take the knowledge back and share it, which would spread knowledge of the magic of friendship among the different kingdoms. It's actually a cool idea. This takes us into the first song of the new season. I'll admit it's probably not the best song that we've gotten, but I like it. It's very upbeat, maybe a bit different flow than most of the songs we get, but its real purpose is to illustrate how the school is going. As things start out, the 6 are teaching in their own styles and the students are having fun. They form a bit of the friendships that we see later on in the show, and then things go downhill from there. Enter Twilight and the EEA book, and things go from fun to monotonous. What were once fun lessons is now filled with complex formulas that not even the teachers get. And the students are feeling overwhelmed and stressed, and Twilight is oblivious to how the students and her friends are reacting to the enforced standards of the EEA. Well, this kind of fits into Twilight's character, where she gets so set on a goal that she gets tunnel vision. This is a problem she's struggled with over the seasons.
Twilight, Applejack just saved my life from horrible dragon-eating timberwolves. And, as you are aware, I adhere to my dragon code, and this means I must serve her for the rest of my natural-born days. I'm sure you understand. It's been an honor being your faithful assistant.
Sounds good.
However, in this case, Twilight is also being hindered by her other main weakness, which is when she believes she has rules from a higher authority, she sticks to those rules no matter what, whether it be from Celestia, the map, or someone who really has more power going for him than he really should. Combine this with her tunnel vision, and she enters some sort of blind, confident Zen state where she is convinced that all her concerns are all in her head, even as her friends are telling her that they have doubts about the school.
I get it. Things are getting off to a rougher start than expected. But that's okay.
Who are you, and what have you done with Twilight Sparkle?
Spike, never change. Twilight insists that as long as they do everything by the book, everything will be fine, because denial is magic. At this point, let's return to the Student 6, who had just been broken up from a fight in an earlier scene. Over the episode, we've gotten a few glimpses at their characters. Gallus is sarcastic and likes to push buttons, while Smolder is proud and confrontational. You knew these two were destined to hit it off right away due to their rough and tumble cultures and rebellious attitudes. Yuna has just as much pride, but at first glance the "Yak's best" line seems a little one-note, though she is just as confrontational as Smolder, if not more so. Silverstream is the group's Pinky, full of energy, while Ocellus is more reserved at first. But as they seem to hang out together, or at least walk to class in close proximity, it seems their opposites attract more, though this may be more due to the fact that they are both genuinely nice. Sandbar seems to be the odd pony out here, maybe because he is actually a pony. Out of the group, he is the most invested in the school, as he knows what the main six have done, and insists on sticking up for them even in the face of all the doubt among the students. While we have seen them starting to develop friendships during the first song, the strict, fun-sucking standards push them into getting into confrontations. The neophyte mentioned earlier was broken up by the teachers. So, Gallus and Smolder get the idea to take a mental health break. Ocellus, Silverstream, and Yuna catch them.
Oh, that sounds legit. We're in.
And Sandbar decides to tag along to keep an eye on them. It's here that we start seeing the students start developing bonds on their own. Ocellus starts things off by impressing them with her transformation abilities. After that, they begin sharing stories and entertaining each other, telling jokes in their own individual styles, and begin playing off each other's personalities, finding that they enjoy each other's company. What I like about the Student 6 is they represent the way that most people become friends. Not through some world-threatening event or because someone gave them it as a school project, but because they genuinely came together as one through their own methods. To me, this makes them the most natural group of friends that we've seen on the show so far, and the most relatable to most of us. Meanwhile, Murphy rains down havoc as Naysay arrives to assess the school, and Rainbow spills the beans and tries to cover it up. Was Rainbow's class just those 6 creatures? Shouldn't there be a lot more pony students she needed to teach? We see a lot more students in the school, so it seems weird she wouldn't have any other students to lead Naysay to. But anyway, they get to Friendship Day, and everything goes to hell as the students arrive, and Ocellus forgets to change out of her giant monster form. Guessing no one explained you're supposed to keep a low profile when skipping class. But a few antics later in a destroyed tower, Changeling's glass cannon, Daze first addresses the students as if he is the ultimate authority, and then upon learning they are students, yells at Twilight. Okay, here's the problem I have here. Daze is basically causing an international incident. You have here leaders from several kingdoms, and he is trying to discipline their subjects, and he's blatantly insulting them to their faces. As a princess, Twilight had every right to call him out on that point, that he is not a royal nor a representative to get involved with international relationships. And while he has the ability to judge the school and its performance, he does not have the right or the authority to get involved with the eligibility of other races, let alone insert himself into foreign politics. His job is to enforce standards of learning, not individuals. If Daze wants to shut down the school because of, quote, irresponsible teachers, that's one thing. But students skipping class? That is something that students would face consequences for, not the school. And endangering ponies would fall under the jurisdiction of local law enforcement. The only thing that Daze has here is that Rainbow Dash panicked and couldn't find her students and then inconvenienced him. He never evaluated the rest of the school or the staff, so he has no framework to judge the school as a whole. His entire decision is based on non-ponies attend this school. Twilight should contact Celestia and Luna and get them down here to have Daze removed from his position for his unprofessionalism, damaging foreign relationships, and overstepping the bounds of his authority. But here, Twilight receives all the blame and takes it, and it is treated as if Daze is the reigning monarch of the land who can declare war if he wanted to. And I'm surprised that Prince
We declare war!
didn't do so right on the spot. But no. The self-important school authority gets to do as he pleases and closes the School of Friendship while pissing off the entirety of the foreign nations and inviting war and invasion because I don't like those non-ponies having any of that friendship stuff. So that concludes School Daze Part 1. So what did I think of it? Well, aside from the issue with the power dynamics in this situation, I think this was a good start to the season. Movie recap was kept to a minimum. We got a number of returning faces and interesting new characters with a lot of potential, and we got to see a new expansion of the main six's role in the series. While the musical number wasn't on my top 10, it was entertaining, but I love the look of the school. It definitely has the look of a university. Comforting, but professional. I'm glad they didn't get inspiration from the crystal motif of the castle. I'll be back with the review for Part 2, but first, I think I'll go pay the EEA a visit and redecorate Daze's office. Till next time, this is Carapace the Changeling, signing out.